I'm Nicki Micheaux, and I was in the PDP class 1.0, and I did PDP 2.0 back in 2010, 2011. And I think that short film I did in PDP helped me get into the ABC Disney directing program, which was awesome. Okay, well, let's talk about administration, because I know it's not an exciting word, but I think administration is huge, because to me, administration is synonymous with discipline. And in that, administration means you have to administer something, which requires that you come back to it on a consistent basis. To me, this is only done with discipline. And I think it's just really key, because as artists, the first thing you want to do is be like, I'm an artist, you know, and you want to feel and fly, and I'm moved in stream of consciousness, and you can make a beautiful painting. I don't know, maybe, or you can do some great work, but you know, if you're not, you know, on your work, you can be doing self-indulgent emotional work. Or as a writer, you know, I remember kind of like this idea, right, when you feel like it, you will never get anything done. I mean, you have to sit down and write. And so to me, administration is a foundational block to everything, And if you don't deal with that, whew, I just don't know how you go forward. And even if you do go forward, I don't know how you don't end up bankrupt. Because if you're not kind of handling all the different parts of your life, it'll fall apart. It goes back to that idea of there's no timeline, you know, and sometimes going after the dream, to me, is the exciting part of life, because that's the journey in itself. And there's all these little dreams that come true as you're chasing the big dream, and that they don't have expiration dates. You know, no matter where you go, if you've got that dream inside you, it's not going away. It's not going to be quiet, because it's meant to come out. It's this thing God has placed in you that's supposed to be shared, that's supposed to be a flower on this planet. And so I think that I certainly have felt the dreams that are inside me, and you know, I've tried to do other things sometimes, like for instance, I work a lot as an actor, but I'm still moved to write my stories. And it doesn't go away no matter how many great jobs I have. I still feel like, well, geez, I just want to get this one story out there. And I don't know what the impact of that story will be, but just I feel obligated to what God has put inside me to put it out, just to see what God might do with it, because it's really not up to me. You know, once it's outside of me, it just gets caught up, and it goes where it goes, and it lands, and it's beautiful, and it's something, and it does something that's beyond me. And I think that that's the point of when these beautiful things come inside of us, they have to come out. So no, they don't have expiration dates. To me, that means a lot, because of course, as an actor, that's the number one rule when you walk into an audition room, like, do your best, forget the rest, because we can be carrying around. I used to say back in the day, you know, our job is auditioning. And if you're carrying around bad auditions, like all these skeletons are following you around. And I love that idea of do your best, so you do the work and then let it go. But it's so true, because in my writing, you can obsess over pages and never ever send it out, you know, or never try to get the money. And at the end of the day, I was talking to Quentin Tarantino about my script, what was I talking about? Let's say last year. Well, right before he started shooting Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, we were chatting about it, and I was chatting about, this is the movie I want to direct. And he said to me, you know, you just have to decide that that's what you're going to do, and then that's it. And to me, it's the same thing, and you do your best and forget the rest. So you get to a certain point where this is what I'm doing, period. You know, and you do your best at it, and you let it go. And I think that is the only way to live, because we, you know, as we're acting, you come in, you drop off your product, and you go. You know, you do the script, you take it to places, then you let it go. You turn it into a film, you take it to the festival, you take it to the market, and then you let it go. The audience has a certain reaction, you can't control it. You got to let it go, because you got to move on to the next thing. You can't be on Twitter all day arguing with people who don't like your movie or whatever, you know. But to me, that just covers across the board, like everything that we do. So that one stuck out. I think community is support. And I think having a place where you can go see art, be a part of art, be supported by other artists is really important. And I also feel like to feel connected to something bigger than yourself is accurate and really important. I think there's a lot of isolation these days, and it's really, I think community is how you thrive. At least it's how I thrive. I like being part of a lot of communities. I love to feel the pulse of a room, the pulse of a people. And it's interesting, as my platform has grown and I get a chance to be a part of other communities where, say I'm brought in and I sit on a panel and talk, and just really touching people, like listening to people, hearing what they have to say, and seeing the work that we do as artists, how it can have a healing effect. And that's what I love about being an artist. And I just think we can't really create as well without our community. I think we have to create in a group. I think if we're just off by ourselves, isolated, it's just, because ultimately making a movie is an effort of community. It's a tough road, hard work making a movie, and you can't do it without building a sense of community amongst the crew and the cast and every part of it. I think you should be able to always find the good and praise it, and if you can't, it should be like a check for you to recognize that, hey, what's going on? What's really going on? I had a little thing I used to do with myself. I used to recognize if I was feeling envious or jealous about something, or a person or a person's career. And I started to identify, like, well, what if I went after that? As opposed to, feeling like, oh, a certain kind of way, what if I went after that? And I found that each little thing that maybe that little green-eyed stuff would come up with, as I went after it, it went away. Even though I hadn't necessarily achieved it, the process of going after it went away. So I always think that, if you can't find the good and praise it, that's a sign. It's a beautiful sign for you to look deeper into that and see what's going on. Because one day you could be sitting on a dream that maybe you haven't acknowledged. Because maybe it's too big or too scary. But also, in terms of finding the good and praise it, there's a lot of, everybody's a critic. Oh my God, especially with Twitter and everybody got a comment, and you should have lit it this way because everybody's a photographer now. It's just too much. So there's enough critics out there. There's enough critics. Praise, just praise. See if you can spend a whole day just praising, because we need that.